Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Roland. Today, I want to talk to you about the true life. The true life. The true life without pretense, without falsity, without lies. Okay, the true life. Now, what is the nature of this true life? Well, it's a co-creative life. It's a life shared with your Creator, who is your parent spirit. It says in the Bible that we are created in the image and likeness of God. Okay? We're chips off the old block. The only problem is that we've been recreated or changed. We've been changed by something called temptation. Or actually, it's not temptation that's changed us, it's um, something called sin. I know that's not a very popular word nowadays, but it does exist. It's missing the mark. It's not living properly. See, the true life, the co-creative life, living and having and moving and having your being in a way that um, is fulfilling and leads to good things. That's a way of life that none of us have known. We may have been, well, I don't want to say close to, but well, yes, I'll just say close to it. We may have been close. You were close to it. You were close to it when you were a little tiny child. Okay? And you awoke, leapt from bed, and ran barefoot over the carpet, looking forward to a day of adventure. You loved mommy and daddy, and you loved your puppy and your teddy bear and your friends, and you took delight in all the wonderful things that you discovered. Okay? But it's very close to this heavenly way of life, to this true life to which I am alluding. But you fell away from it very quickly. First of all, because we, the way we're born of the flesh. So we're first of the flesh and then later of the spirit. So it's only natural that you are to be earthbound and focused on earthly things when you're a little child. That's perfectly natural. It has its rewards and its satisfactions and its joy. Okay. But then as you get older, as you grow up into your 20s, 30s, and 40s, 50s, well, then it's time to begin to lay down the earthly life and pick up the spiritual life. And by picking up this spiritual life, okay, you will then again experience something like when you were a little child. Christ said, unless you become like a little child, you cannot enter into the kingdom of heaven. What did he mean by that? Well, one of the things he meant was that you have to return to innocence again. See, corruption has entered. So you need to return to innocence again and re-find, okay, a kind of life that where you flow on a daily basis. You flow through life, okay, like a boat goes through the water. Okay, on not all the water going into the boat, but the water parting as the boat goes through it. Okay, you need to go through life like a ballerina dancing across the stage, like a butterfly from one flower to another. Okay, and then to begin to rediscover again. See, when you were a little child, why you discovered the wonderful things of nature, for example, and then perhaps things that you learned that you enjoyed before they ruined it. See, the awful people. Once there used to be a movie a long time ago. There was a movie called Dark Crystal. It was kind of a Disney kind of a movie. It was for kids, but it was it was the story of these two little wonderful beings. I think they were called Gelflings or something. I can't remember. Little boy and little girl, but they were very wonderful and sweet and innocent. Okay, And then there were these big ogres that were ruling everything. Okay? Well, that's kind of the way it is in life. You've got ogres ruling everything, and they ruin it. Okay? They ruin it. So they ruined learning. See, they either took the joy out of it by teaching you too much too soon, or too little too late, or putting you into a horrible environment with bullies and awful things, or they pressured you to study and learn. And either you conformed and then became ambitious and tried to perform for them, and that ruined it. You may have become just like them, the ones that pressured you. Or you rebelled, developed learning blocks, dropped out. See. So you need to discover learning again, which is like discovery, not sitting around and stuffing the way they want you to stuff your face with facts. Stuff your mind, not stuff your face. Stuff your mind with facts, figures, and formulas. See, they do that. I don't know why they do that. It ruins it. Instead, to begin to discover anew of God's great, wonderful earth. Begin to discover anew of God's earth, of science, okay, of physics, of cosmology, okay, and of the wonders of your Creator, of His love and His patience, and the wonderful, wonderful way in which He made provision to redeem this human race. It's a wonderful story. You find it written down in the pages of the Bible. From the very beginning, He said the way things were. He predicted in advance the way things were going to be. See, and things are unfolding. Okay, things are unfolding, and so there's a mighty hand that controls the events of things. And it would be good to be on His side instead of fighting Him. Now, most of us, here's what happens, see. Like I said, when you were a little child, you were happy and carefree. But then what happened? Well, the ogres came, and the bullies, and unaware parents, see, dreadfully unaware parents, see. But don't resent them. Don't resent your parents. They were lost too. Someone had done it to them. They never found a way. Okay? They were lost. Your mom was angry at your dad and unloved. She was unloved. And your dad was confused, and he went out in the world and encountered awful things, and so they never found a way. So don't hate. Don't resent them. Okay? Forgive them. Let go of your resentment. Let go of your grudge against them. Okay? All right? Then you can be okay. That's part of the way back to the creative life, to the true life. Part of the way back to the true life. See, true means to be admit. Admit that you've been resentful, that you've been phony with people. Admit that you were ambitious and you hated people that lorded it over you. Maybe you didn't want to be ambitious, but they lorded it over you. They tempted you. They teased you, and they made you resentful. You resented your dad for not being there. For not protecting you. See, for not all the things that you wanted from the father. Maybe he did the best he could. See, he may have been a halfway decent dad. Did a lot of good things. Okay, so appreciate the good things that he did, and don't resent him for where he failed. Okay. And your mom was unloved, and she had issues. And see, so forgive your mom and all the other people. How do you think the bullies became like they were? And the cruel people and the ogres. See, and the awful people, mean people, cruel people, shallow people, confusing cruel people that did bad things. How do you think they became that way? Somebody did it to them. Once upon a time they were sweet little innocent children too. Not completely innocent, of course, but nevertheless little children. If they had had a good father to guide them, but they didn't. So forgive them. Okay? Forgive everybody. And that right there could be the beginning of this new, of finding the true life. Okay. Now Christ spoke of this true life. Okay. He spoke of finding it, of searching, of yearning for it. See, there's not a lot you can do. You've tried making yourself better with your self-help programs and getting a degree and rolling up your sleeves and see, maybe you tried changing other people or see controlling other people or manipulating them and it all backfired on you, and then you tried to make yourself good and it never works. Everything you do is you slap on external learning, external, see? So now maybe if you just sit back and desist in your efforts, desist in your struggles, and wait upon God to show you. See? Wait upon God's light. It will be in God's light. See, you've been hiding in your mind, hiding in your imagination, hiding in your fantasies and daydreams about creating this great life for yourself, and it didn't work out, and then you ended up lost in worries and doubts and resentments, and regrets, and so on. See? All right. And you look for other people. You look for other people to show you the way, and mostly they had feet of. You found out they had feet of clay. See, it was disappointing, but don't hate them. That's the secret. Don't resent them. Everyone that failed you or misled you or didn't have what they claimed to have, they were just dreadfully unaware. Now, there is such a thing as evil, and it does operate through people. Okay? Unaware people and hateful people and ambitious people, it can operate through them. Okay? But if that's the case, then once again, don't resent the person because something was operating through them. Maybe they didn't even realize what they were doing, or if they did, they couldn't stop themselves. So don't hate them. Okay? Don't resent them, in other words. The good life and the co-creative life with your Creator is waiting to unfold. And all you have to do is, number one, cease struggling to make yourself good. Okay? Admit if the truth dawns upon you, if you suddenly realize something that you're doing wrong, or that it's not, you resent your mom or you resent your kids or whatever, then just see it. Don't resent seeing it. See, that's the thing, you always resented the light that showed you your error. See, well, that light is from God, which comes to start to feel like conscience. If you had always lived with this light and in this light and loved the light and never strayed from it and never resented other people, never became never wanted to get the favor of the group, be accepted and do what, see, if that had never happened, why, you would live in the light now. You wouldn't know it as conscience. You would just know it as a wonderful state of being. Well, you can find that again, but the way back is through repentance. See, so you have to see where you've made your mistakes. Now, the other thing is you don't know where you don't know. A lot of times you don't know. You know that things aren't working out. You know you've been messing up. You know that communication with your kids is not good, or with your partner is not good. You know all these things, or your health is not good, or see, a lot of things are bothering you. You know all of that, but you may not realize how you're messing up. You probably don't. You can't realize right now because you're lost in your thinking and your emotions. So that's why the meditation helps you to stand back, take a mental step back. And instead of being lost in the thought stream, you stand back and observe it, okay? In the present, okay? So it's like mindfulness. The only thing is it includes God. See, remember, it's God's light that shines, so you can see where you're messing up. It's a good thing. Be grateful. See, count it a blessing. Was it Peter or James that said, count it a blessing when you fall into divers temptations because it tests your patience, and then that's how you develop patience, and that's how you develop faith. See? So when you see you've made a mistake, then be glad that you're seeing it. Because then you can see it's a little painful to see your mistake. Then see it. See? And then after that, after having seen your mistake, then you can live properly. See how simple that is? All right. So now, I recommend you do get the meditation if you're so inclined. If you will, it would be very helpful. You see, it would be very helpful. My name is Roland.